And for all those Trump supporters who doubted Donald Trump, got news for you. Just like I've been saying, Trump just changed his mind. Hillary is finished. According to new reports, President-elect Donald Trump will ask his ambassadors to probe the Clinton Foundation. FoxNews.com reported there has been a new twist in the investigation on the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation, Sandra Smith reported. While President-elect Donald Trump has now promised not to personally dig into the scandal-scarred organization, a new report from the New York Post says that he will instead ask his new ambassadors to aid in the probe. Is this the truth? It's coming from the New York Compost. Ambassadors to certain countries may be asked to pressure the governments with which they are the liaison. I always pronounce that one wrong. Liaison. There we go. Are the liaison to commence their own investigations into their relationships with the foundation. The Post reported that two countries targeted in particular are Haiti and Colombia. Read more at Insider Fox News. Will the Clintons be charged? Most definitely. Next, Justin Priebus says Trump and Hillary cut a deal. What happened here? On Sunday, President-elect Trump's appointed Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, said Hillary Clinton's team is backing away from the deal that was cut between Trump and Hillary on how the loser would concede the election. APnews.com reports Donald Trump's incoming chief of staff suggests Hillary Clinton is backing away from the deal worked out between the two presidential campaigns on how the loser would concede to the winner. Reince Priebus tells Fox News Sunday that Clinton's team cut a deal with Trump's team, specifying that once the Associated Press called the race in favor of one candidate, the other would call within 15 minutes to concede. But no, the backstabbing DNC, corrupt crime syndicate, and George Soros never really give up. They always lie in front of your face and say another thing behind your back. Priebus says that's just what happened election night. But now he's questioning whether Clinton campaign lawyer Mark Elias is backing down from that deal by announcing Clinton will participate in a recount in Wisconsin and may do the same in Michigan and Pennsylvania. The push is being led by the Green Party's Jill Stein. And it's all going to mount to a hill of beans. It's just going to make the investigation that Trump's doing against Hillary far worse. And I got some great news from Red State Watcher Genius. Look what could be on top of Trump's Mexico-U.S. wall. Trump plans a $1 trillion infrastructure program, and a bullet train could be possible on the Trump's wall. Could you imagine this? Isn't that beautiful? I'd find it kind of hard for the immigrants to try to climb up and over this. Better be some very good, challenging rock climbers with rappels and all that, and piton all the way up and over. And then when they get over, they make sure they don't get run over by the 300-mile-an-hour train. You know, I'll tell you, Gary Forbes says Trump already inspiring us to dream big again. He says U.S. border wall supports 300-mile-per-hour maglev bullet train. All right, and so that was yesterday. Gary Forbes said that. Okay, so let's check it out. Now, I took a look at this video and watched it, and this video was made right here by the High Speed Rail America Club, and you might want to check this out. He's got several other videos as well documenting. He's done a very good job. He doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but we got like approximately 85% are summing up this video, and I have to agree, I'm going to probably give it a 90+ percentile because I've watched it. I think this guy knows what he's talking about. He's done his research. He's got plenty of good proof to provide. So let's take a listen here.
On this episode of Fast Forward, the wall just got 10 feet higher and 300 miles an hour faster? Hello everyone, it's me, Demetrius Villa, president and founder of the High Speed Rail America Club. By now, all of you have heard of Republican nominee business mogul Donald J. Trump and his most controversial plan to build a wall between the border of the United States and Mexico. If you haven't heard of him, it's the current year. It's 2016. What are you living in, under a rock? Now, normally we try to stray away from politics here at the club, but it's pretty impossible when these projects involve infrastructure renewal and massive billions of dollars into these projects. Also, a train on the wall. Yes, you heard me right. There's a literal high-speed rail train on top of the Trump wall. Now, before I get into that,
let me tell you, we could definitely use it. With our slow trains and everyone has to get on a plane, be searched and all that, a bullet train that's traveling 300 miles per hour, about 2/3 the speed of an average jet, and all you do is slow it down instead of sitting there circling in the air to find a place, find a time for the air traffic controller to let you land. Yeah, I think that would be about 75% of the speed of most jet planes going across America, and you don't have to worry about crashing or taking off. It's time to get, move forward into the future here.
Let's go into the background of all of this of the 2016 election for come to infrastructure. As of right now, only two.
Now, let me remind you, this video was made in May 14th of this year, 16. Okay, so he's behind the 8 ball as far as the election, so just ignore that part.
Of all the presidential candidates that have run, and there's been a lot, only two have only mentioned about infrastructure renewal, and that has been Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and Donald J. Trump. Now, unfortunately for Sanders supporters, the cold hard truth is this. Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee for the Democrat Party. There is no way her delegate count is going to slow down.
The danger must be growing, for the rowers keep on rowing, and they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing.
But back to Trump. Here is one clip of him talking about high-speed rail.
We have rebuilt China with the money they've taken out of our country for many years, in all fairness. We have, I call it the greatest single theft in the history of the world, what China has done to our country. You go to China, they have trains that go 300 miles an hour. We have trains that go chug, 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 and then they have to stop because the track split, right? They have trains that go 300 miles an hour. They have trains, Japan, China, a lot of countries. We're like third world. You go to our airports, you go to LaGuardia, you land and you go to Dubai, and you go to Qatar, and you go to different places in Asia, and you see airports like you've never seen. Then you come home, you land at Kennedy, you land at LAX, you land at LaGuardia. Oh, LaGuardia. With the potholes all over the place, okay?
Yeah, and what does that do to Obama and Hillary? It's time to move forward. Think good things are coming.
I mean, it's just a very sad thing what's happened. What's happened to our country is very, very, very sad.
And another.
We have to rebuild our roads, our bridges, our tunnels, our schools, our hospitals. I mean, our country's like a third world country. You go over to Qatar and you go over to some of these places in the Middle East. You go to China, you see the airports, you see the bridges. They have bridges that are so incredible, you've never seen anything like it. They have railroad trains that go 350 miles an hour. And we have things that go chug, 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 like from 100 years ago.
Logic persisting, when a candidate mentions infrastructure, has actually built infrastructure, and a photo surfaces of that said candidate's top project coming up with high-speed rail, we kind of have to take that seriously. Now, this particular picture was submitted by an anonymous person who claims to have visited the Trump campaign headquarters and noticed this plan for the Trump wall to have a high-speed rail network running on top.
Wow.
And has been spread around the 4chan website and now 4chan Annex Territory Reddit. Following that specific picture is this render. That's the thumbnail of this video showing the Japanese MLX-01 superconducting maglev majestically and magnetically maneuvering out of the sunset along the massive wall. So the big question here isn't whether the wall gets built or not, because apparently Donald Trump's campaign has been over about a dozen times, and he'll never be the GOP nominee. And he has no shot against the former Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. The big question that we're trying to answer over here is, can this wall actually work? Yes. Now, I'm not here to talk about whether you support the wall or not. That's up to you to research if you haven't decided yet or not. And when I mean research, I don't mean watching a ridiculously biased 2-minute video that someone shared on Facebook. No. Our research here at the High Speed Rail America Club is ahead of schedule and under budget. Right, Darius? Right. Exactly. So, according to what Trump has officially said, the wall itself would cost $8 billion. And that's a basic wall made out of concrete and steel rebar, not the actual high-speed rail line. CNN ran a segment on the cost of the wall, saying that it would be $10 billion for it to consist of panels 20 feet high, 5 feet deep, and 8 inches thick, running along the 2,000 miles of border. Alright, so maybe the base cost won't pay for the high-speed rail network along the wall itself. But remember, Mexico is paying for it. More specifically, Mexican companies through tariffs, fees on remittance payments, as well as withholding of federal aid from the U.S. to Mexico.
Just like Trump said.
We're working with a budget of about $58 billion of a trade deficit between the United States and Mexico. No doubt about it, the wall itself, with the all-included infrastructure for doubling as an approximately 1,000-mile high-speed rail line, would cost significantly more than $8 billion, estimated at around $50 to $55 billion, factoring in the cost of the 800-mile, $64 billion California high-speed rail project, minus all the tunnel boring and all the land acquisition. At the highest estimate of $55 billion for the train wall through conventional steel-wheeled bullet trains, that's still 65 times less than the estimated $3.6 trillion cost it will take to repair our nation's infrastructure, and 109 times less than the long-term cost of the Iraq War at $6 trillion. Not exactly the most expensive thing in the world that Mexico is apparently paying for. Now, when it comes to the actual infrastructure itself, the plan seems to stick on using a conventional bullet train rather than a maglev train, since conventional steel-wheeled trains can nimbly navigate around some of the tricky places where this wall is going to go. The plan calls for using decommissioned nuclear vessels at both ends to act as power plants, as well as other nuclear plants at certain intervals to power the trains and cities around it. There are also some outlets where the tracks were able to split to go north into major cities and connect with other systems such as the Texas Central Railway system that's planning to connect Dallas to Houston, and the California high-speed rail system in construction. Now, if by any chance you don't know about those projects or you want to see more, click on either side of me to be able to see about the Texas Central Railway project or the California high-speed rail project. Take your pick. Again, there may most likely be some places where the actual rail may have to deviate from the wall itself due to some really difficult spots where the current border runs now. It's not all desert like they show on TV. There's literally houses right on the side of it. For building something this massive, it's more than possible. Henry Flagler built the Overseas Railroad in the early 20th century to connect Miami and Key West. That used to be the longest bridge in the world. The current largest bridge in the world is in China, the Danyan Kunsheng Grand Bridge High-Speed Railroad, which is really more in itself a wall, spanning an average of 100 feet high over rice paddies, 102.4 miles long, at a cost of $8.5 billion. Now, the one major problem that we can see with this wall is sabotage. Of course, most people wouldn't like to have a wall in front of them that apparently they paid for. And it's not just the threat of sabotage over in Mexico. We've had threat of sabotage over here in the United States for some of the projects that we've had here as well. Take, for example, the All Aboard Florida project right here that's happening right now that will connect Miami to Orlando in 2017. Up in the Treasure Coast, there were some protesters and opposition groups that even threatened online to burn one of the bridges where one of the 125-mile-an-hour trains would be running on. Oh, jeez, oh man, aren't these protesters and opposition groups always so peaceful? So tell us what you think in the comments below. Is this Donald Trump railroad a good idea or not? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you have not subscribed to the High Speed Rail America Club and want to keep right on the path and keep this train going on being able to connect the United States through greater times, be sure to subscribe to the High Speed Rail America Club.
All right, well, thank you, sir, for your wonderful work. I'll be leaving his link in the description box for you. I definitely agree with the high-speed rail. We could definitely use this. We actually need one going all the way from Florida to California for those people who want to, and one all the way going from Florida all the way up into New York. At least. This will make it impossible for those immigrants to be trying to climb across this wall. It's going to be impossible. And it's going to be a huge relief for Border Patrol agents. A lot less agents. Yeah, a lot less. It's going to be a breeze. Their job's going to be a breeze. Literally, compared to what it is now, it's hell. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.